Sometimes I feel like my only friend. It's the city I live in, the city of Rockville. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she gives me the windy. I never worry, now that is a lie. I don't wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. But take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe that there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I have her love, the city she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I only wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I only wanna feel like I did that day. But take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Lord, no, no, yeah, yeah. Love me, I said, yeah, yeah. One time. Here's where I drew some blood. I could not get enough. Forgot about my love. I gave my life away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Lord, no, 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 yeah, yeah. When alone I said, yeah, yeah. Well, stay. Should've known that to run some people off. Where'd you guys go? I had two people there. Oh man, that's not right. Where'd you guys go? I didn't even get started yet. I'll be darned. Just ran you off. I had Dennis on there for a minute. I thought you'd like a little something. Oh well, maybe somebody'd come back. How's everybody doing today? This is Gino. Welcome to Gino Streams, Gino's show. The original General Gene. That's what they call me. That's what I call me, and that's all there is to it. And I don't care if you don't care, if I don't care. Hold on here, people. I gotta check something. Give me a second. It's not like there's somebody actually watching at the moment. Oh, no wonder. I guess. Yeah. I noticed my battery's getting low. Now, I didn't really have too awful much. I got up here and I turned on there. First of all, when I walked up in here in the studio, the place was a little warm. Kind of forgot I turned off the dang air conditioner. Gave it a rest for a while. So, and you know what? I'm going to do something real quick. Let's give this asshole all right. There we go. Let's see where that happens. But anyways, after I got the air going and everything, started to turn everything on, found my computer needed some updating. It's like, all right, it probably ain't gonna be that much. I've been running it here and there. Oh man, it had to turn off and on, one of those updates. So it took a good awful little time. I was already planning to be a little political, but I had to kind of hurry through the stuff that I was going to do, and so bear with me. I might jabber on like Joe Biden. But speaking of, we had the CNN town hall with Joe Biden in Cincinnati, Ohio, the other day. My. Was that something else? Now, I tried to watch a little bit of it, and I watched what I could and tried to understand what I could. But you know, if you ever seen Joe Biden speak, you know it's not too easy to follow along like it is with me sometimes. And so I got online here today and I read through the transcripts, the CNN transcripts, and because, like I said, you just really didn't understand the point he was getting to at most places, and most of the time he just didn't really answer the question. Imagine that, right? Of course, everybody was pre-selected on their questions. I heard when everybody was coming in, they said that they was, I read and heard on the news, that they was asking who you voted for, so they wanted to make sure they got the right amount of Democrats in there. And I read along, and I challenge you to go ahead and read it if you know, want to learn more about it or anything, but I'm pretty much summarizing the whole thing here and going to let you kind of know what happened, not in real detail so I don't bore you like Joe Biden, but I know I do enough of that sometimes as it is. But old Don Lemon, he's the one that was running the show, and the MC, I guess you'd say, and it did the hey how do you do's and all, and that was a ramble for a good little bit, and they wanted to walk amongst the crowd and all. And of course, seeing as how the subject's supposed to be about the coronavirus, that's what it was. They started out with a line about the coronavirus right off the bat. And of course, old Don soups it up with, you know, there's a question asking before it gets really started on it, and talking about how how they're doing so great and stuff, but that, you know, people need to get more vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. Well, and Joe's carried on about, told a few lies about how they didn't have a very good start when he got in. Well, Joe, you're the one one of the ones that got their immunization right there right in December, I guess, or around November, December, whenever it was. But they got towards the end of the year. So, big lie right there. It was already in process. The vaccines were being given out. There was a way to give the vaccines out. They had all that set up already, Mr. Biden. You lied to us there, and you know it. And then talk like they're, you know, that they've always encouraged it and all, and are really encouraging it. Well, I'd like to remind that he and Miss Harris themselves discouraged it back in October, back before, you know, saying if Donald Trump had anything to do with it, they question it. They don't know if they take it or not. So, you know, you gotta quit putting the blame on the Republicans. It's Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. What he had to do with is getting the thing started and getting it all together, and which made it easier for you. So they talked about that, and then we got round to one of the first questions. They was worried about the kids under 12. Not many of them were vaccinated yet, and all, and what he think about that, and what did the White House think and was going to do about it. And well, he ended up putting his 2 cents into what the CDC should probably do about it. Is what he ended up doing, is saying, well, I think the kids 12 and under should be wearing their masks. Well, that's not what it is right now. See, right now, all the teachers, or most of them that have gone along with it, they've gotten vaccinated. The parents have gotten vaccinated. So we're not supposed to be able to give it to our kids. And the data also says that it don't get the kids very easily. Now, this new variant, it's a little bit more contagious. But I haven't seen any facts yet saying that the kids are getting it so bad and everything. And with everybody vaccinated that wants to get vaccinated or can get vaccinated, they're supposedly okay. So let's think about it. If they're okay, you know, the ones that made the choice, that want to live with their choice, they're okay too. I mean, most of us end up getting the damn virus anyways. So, and the facts there are that you've got the antibodies, and when the antibodies run out, you still have a way to fight it off in your immunity. So, and while we're on mask facts, they're talking about maybe bringing it back too, for the people, and saying the people also that's been vaccinated wear a mask. Now, I don't think that's going to go over very well when it's like, hey man, I got a vaccine that's supposed to have been taking care of the fact and I'm supposed to have more freedom. So, you know, what do you know about that, you know? So they're saying that the kids under 12 should be vaccinated. All them little kids, they have to go through that torture still. And you know what? If I was a parent and they was asking if they is vaccinated or not, I said no, but my kid don't need to wear a mask. And that's exactly what I say. They don't have to have no other reasoning or anything. It's not their position to know what your medical is really. You know, you don't have to come right out and say it. And these kids have a right to their privacy too. So, you know, I don't know if it's right or not for your kid to get vaccinated. Like they're all saying, talk to your doctor, figure it out yourself, whatever. But it's still a free country. You can keep that in mind while you're thinking about it. But they went on, and old Lemony, he ended up asking, well, when for the 12-year-olds. And he mumbled, blah, 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 you know, Biden. And he's like, soon, I hope soon. It's supposed to be before the school time starts, but soon. And then it ended up, I think, saying something about October, which by then most schools have gotten started and going by then. But, you know, this narrative is control is ridiculous that they want to go with. But let's go on. You know, he said he was been talking to scientists and scientists. Let's look at all the scientific data. Well, I just laid out a bunch of the scientific data that says that, man, them 12-year-olds are going to be all right, mask or not. You see, I don't really think the mask works because I never wore a mask because of my exemption for my medical condition. And most of the people I know that didn't wear a mask very much, they ended up like me and not getting the virus that awful bad. And I think it's because you're able to expel more. I don't think the virus sets in so quickly or what. You're able to expel more of it and build up to little particles, build up your immunity like God meant for you to. I think God gave us a system, perfect system to fight off stuff. And yeah, some people, their system is damaged and can't do it very well. But that's, you know, that's just something of nature that happened. And yes, they need to do what's right for them. And we need to watch out for them. But we got that vaccine out, and the excuses still keep coming. There's a lot of people, you know, that's still getting it. They're trying to blame all put all the attention is that the unvaccinated is what's causing the problem. Well, I know some Texas legislation members that rode in a plane all bright and fuzzy tail without their mask like FFA ruled and ended up getting the virus. And they said, well, we was all immunized. Well, that didn't work now, did it? Not for you. And you should have been following the rules or karma probably wouldn't have snuck up on you. But, you know, that's another thing, how they glorified them, and that's not going to work out for you Texas Democrats. So let's just grow up, put it on the big panties, and get our asses back there and fix that shit. And so going on to get through this, let's go on to the next question. How are we supposed to build up the confidence in the scientific community? Well, first of all, we need to listen to science. Is more or less. This is more or less what I said. And then second, he never gets in political control or political trouble. And he was critical of Facebook and telling them that they need to cut down on misinformation. Now, this is a scary thing here, folks. The misinformation thing, you know, what is the misinformation? All the stuff that they've said, like, I don't think I want to take the vaccine if Donald Trump has a hand in it. When do they get to control all the misinformation? We should never have a government of a free country that says that, you know, we're going to help monitor the social media and make sure other people's opinion is to our satisfaction. That's just not right. That's not what the Constitution says. You know, people, let's wake up. Got to see something wrong there. But, you know, he was going on about and rambled on all about what he used to do and all when he was in as a senator and how he could, you know, well, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not the part, but anyways, let's go on to the next question. The next question comes from an insurance agent, and he was a black man, and you know what? He came from a black community, and he was like, well, how I come from a black community, and most of the black people around there are just not trusting the vaccine and all. He got into history on Biden. We're doing what we can to try. He didn't really answer. We're doing what we can to do it. Got into history, talking about how black people were mistreated in World War II, used as guinea pigs. Well, there was a lot of people used as guinea pigs, and it even got just as bad for Vietnam when it didn't matter who you was. They was trying to use you for a guinea pig for something. So, and he just ran into that, and it's like that's not going on now, though. And it's been a long time, and people should be, you know, more comfortable about stuff like that. That should not be the reason. But he was bringing up stuff of the past that you know, just excuses, you know, that just did not make any sense. And that's another thing. Supposedly the black community voted more for Biden. So, you know, pushing this on Republican people being the ones that are being the negative vacciners. I think Republicans were the most positive vacciners out there, especially when I first was, you know, seeing that. Everybody I know has been positive about it. I'm positive about it too. I think if you're needing it and you think it's all right for you, that you should get it. If you got immunity trouble or something, you know, or old age, go for it. All right, and then we went on to another question. They wanted to get into how prices have been going up, and how the economy's supposedly going up and getting better, but we're still having to pay a lot for everything. Well, any smart person can see things that this administration did out of spite, closing down the pipeline that was going to make things a lot easier, and trying to spend all this money, which we're going to get here too, but he's ended up saying, well, the autos back up from the pandemic after the pandemic supposedly slowed, and then now we're picking up, and so after the pandemic, though, was what he was saying, the automobile business is picking up, and he was going on about that. It was like, well, that's not the normal business, and that's not. And besides, I got my automobile just not too long ago with that free money that you gave everybody. And it wasn't a bad price at all. And that money, it's not going up any there. So the automobile business isn't really going up now, is it, Joe? There is quite a bit of used autos last I looked in the paper and online. And before this stuff even happened, the prices were going down and all. So, that was just a bunch of bullshit, bringing up the autos. We want to know when our prices for gas are going down, when our prices for food is going to go back down, when other things are going to go back down. That's what the people want to know. But no, he goes on, they start talking about inflation. If he's worried about inflation, he says he's not worried about inflation, even with these two bills that he wants to get passed to spend more money, billions, trillions and trillions of money. So, and most of the crap in there is frivolous and not really needed right now. He's just going to blow up our economy and screw it all back up. That's all there is to it, people. So, he rambled on, tried to justify everything, but if he does get those bills passed, it's not going to help shit. All right, now let's go on. And then they started bringing up worried about party conflict. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you guys would compromise a little bit more, or not think you're the only ones that's right, there would be more compromise. There would be more parties getting along. If you wouldn't have hold everything out of spite against Donald Trump, I'm sure the parties would have gotten along a lot better. But he had his mumbly-jumbly answers for that. And he's went on to talk about getting those bills passed. He's like that every one of the Republicans, when he was in Senate, knew when he kept his word, and worked it out, and blah, 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 and more or less making it sound like some Republicans have given their word that they're going to let shit pass. But the way things are said in them bills right now, I don't think they should pass. And that's another thing you should go and look up, because if you don't look at what that is and sitting there defending them damn bills, then shut the hell up, because those things are like the worst things that could happen, the worst type of spending, unneeded spending, that it will just topple on top of what we've got going right now because of this virus. Oh, and just a little reminder here, I wanted to promote my book again. It's called Stop Writing Books Before the Crisis is Over. Stop it. All right, let's get back to the old Lemony, though, on the conflict between parties, brought up the subject about Nancy Pelosi rejecting the Republican representatives that were set forth to her for the January 6th inquiry committee. And she's come out saying that, like their opinion that they formed already is not needed. Well, it's not like everybody else has formed an opinion about it already. And we all know what your opinion is too. So, she's just wanting to be the boss lady and control everything, and so that everything will turn out her way. And it's no new thing. Old Nancy Pelosi, it's no new thing. Matter of fact, she's older than her. And he was going on, but you can't say nothing happened on January the 6th. And I'm here to tell you, well, you can't say nothing happened in Portland and in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and in California, and in New York, and Washington, D.C., where hundreds and hundreds of thousands of money was lost from people destroying shit, and many businesses destroyed and burnt, and even some of them were federal buildings that were damaged very badly and broke into. So compared to what happened at January the 6th, yeah, it was more of a peaceful protest. Shouldn't have been done. I'm not saying it was right that they did it, but it was a lot more peaceful than Portland and over in Oregon and in Minnesota and California and New York. They tried to push it all over onto the other states, and thank God most of these states that they tried to push it on were Republican, and people were like, you don't do that around here. And it got nipped in the bud. But it was let on and let go in all these other liberal states and say, well, we don't want to cause a bigger rumble, or we don't want to arrest people and make them hate us more. It's like when you do wrong, you pay the penalty. But anyways, so old Nancy ain't gonna let they're just gonna be a partisan type thing all through this. Donald Trump tried to do his damnedest to work with the Democrats over and over and over again, and so did the Republicans in the office. Nancy just stomped her foot and said no every time, though. So let's see where this goes here. Then had a question: how do you plan to getting people back to work? Well, the obvious answer is to quit giving them free money to stay home. But old Biden is like, well, that free money that we give you, this is summary. The free money we gave you kept you open. Answering to the lady that happened to be a restaurant owner of many businesses across the country of restaurants, and they was answering the question. Well, excuse me, but I think most of them had to be closed, or they couldn't have people in there, which was about just as good as closed for most restaurants. They weren't equipped to do a lot, to go and carry out like stuff. And then he goes on, and he talked like everything was taken care of, and mostly it was just restaurants and waitresses and cooks and all that aren't coming back to work. But my goodness, you see help wanted everywhere. So another lie there, Joe boy. And he just blah 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 all the way through that, trying to justify everything about giving that money away still while everything's been back open. No, they'd still need that unemployment. And they're just trying to find higher paying jobs. Well, you're out there saying that you've made so many jobs. All right, why ain't they already got a job? Why are they still collecting that damn money? I'm sorry I'm using a little bit of curse words here, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, this stuff really kind of pisses me off, and I warned you it's going to be political tonight. Alright, and then, you know, the bills that they're trying to pass are about infrastructure and all, and of course there is some infrastructure crap included in them bills, but the infrastructure, there's also a bunch of stuff that ain't really infrastructure, and it's uncommon stuff, and it's not stuff that should really be added into these. And so the one person that they already knew about, and they said in the earlier comments and all, asking about getting the bridge built in Kentucky, and he's like, I'm not a bit concerned about it, it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Then we had another question, is concerned about the vote restrictions. Well, you know, all these new laws that's being passed, all I've seen is more time to vote and harder to cheat. So you justify what makes that so wrong. There's nothing in these new laws that's keeping people from voting, and there is not a damn, I don't care about ID. That ID is something needed by everything these days, and if you can't get ID, well then you don't need to go vote, because you ain't smart enough to make the decision to vote. I'm sorry I said that, but I had to. Somebody's got to say it. If you can't follow those simple rules that help us to have a good and close to no flaw election, it ain't gonna be flawless. I don't think they'll ever end up being flawless. But if you want to keep on thinking that you can't do some of these simple rules that they've added and all, as far as ID or making sure you got your own snacks and water and blah blah blah. I forget what the other stuff was in Georgia and in Texas, and you know, I read through the Texas stuff, and there wasn't a damn thing that didn't make sense. I mean, there wasn't a damn thing. Yeah, everything made sense more or less. Yeah, I guess I did use a double negative, which made it positive. So, but it's just natural to make sure that nobody's cheating when it comes to the races. You know, nobody likes a cheater in a race. So, and then they go on to ask if you should get rid of the filibuster. And Joe, he thinks we should go back to the old days where we just hold up the floor for 24 hours and all. And just, when it's going to end up messing up. I mean, what's the difference having the vote and find out that there was going to be somebody that'll stand up there for 24 hours or 3 days or a week, whatever it comes to, just to say, no, we're not going to let this go through. The vote's a little bit easier, isn't it, Joe? And there's no way in hell we should get rid of that. On both sides, there might come something up that the Republicans come up with that's outrageous, that needs to be stopped. But, as far as this crap goes, we all need to learn how to get along. I mean, old Joe Buster, during all his explanation, he even had to bring up his buddy Bird. Old Buddy Bird. Mr. Grand Dragon, or whatever he was of the KKK. So, let's get with it, Mr. Biden, and let's make America great again. Yeah, gun violence, it came up as a question. And we know how this goes, because this was just a broken record. He went and talked about all these things he's done in the past about it and all. He was like, crime is down, but murder and gun crimes are up. Well, crime isn't down. I just seen a guy just casually walk out with a big old duffel bag full of that store's product in California, and another fella. You can't tell me crime's down after Portland and all is going through what they're going through without any murders. You can't tell me crime is down with the way things are going in Washington, D.C., the way things going in Chicago. Not everybody's shooting up everybody. And we got to go back to the plain old simple thing that it's not the gun that kills people. It's the stupid people out there killing people. And, the one good thing I see you doing, and they said he was doing, it was increasing the ATF's budget to make sure people wasn't buying guns illegally, going around to different places where they sell. Now, that's not too bad of this thing, but we're coming back to the party, that's said that they wanted to defund the police and all. And matter of fact, he gets asked about how what he thinks about his party, and well, I ain't never been against the police or say anything about defund. Well, he said that we need to take our money and put it in another area. Well, that's more or less defunding a project when you go and put the money in a different project. That's called defunding. And as far as your party goes, there's all kinds of them that are still saying that we should defund the police. So, lie again, Joe. Just go ahead and lie again. That's all he's done. I mean, my goodness. The country is, what's he going to? And then you have the questions about the drugs and the opiates and the fentanyl that you know we're having a trouble with and all. And he said, well, he spoke with the Chinese minister, and that's where most of it's made. And he spoke with the Mexican guys, you know, the Mexican president, and you know, it was like, we don't want no more coming through here. Well, people, look at the figures. We've had such a big jump since old Spiteful Joe started letting people come through the border, saying that we're not going to prosecute, we're not going to throw you back. And now they're doing what they can to throw some of them back without looking back. So, you know, we need to just open our eyes here, people. After that, they went on to talk. Old Lemony asked him if how it was his first 6 months into his running president, running the country in the ground. And that was a bunch of rambling that I just don't think I want to trouble you with. Is talking about memory, you know, the old times is all he can remember. Because this guy's brain is just not right. His brain's a lot worse than mine. Mine's pretty bad, and I admit it. I don't remember things too well. I ramble on. I slur and say things I shouldn't say sometimes. But I ain't got nobody telling me what I can and cannot say most of the time on a general wise basis. So, you know, I hope everybody's like me and you know, love our country. We're not doing like old Biden and selling our country out. That's all they've been doing. His whole administration's been selling our country out. I mean, look at what happened with the pipeline for Russia and the pipeline for America. Whose is getting built and why? Oh, they said, well, theirs will get built anyways. Well, why can't ours get built anyways? That's been a waste of money. And speaking of waste of money, what about the spitefulness and wasting the money of the wall of the contract that we already had out, and the wall that was almost built, so the money was going to be paid out anyways. So, you know, I love this country, but I hate seeing what's happening to it. It's getting run into the ground by people that don't love the country as well as most of us. I think they love their pocket more than they love the money, or love the country. They love their pocket more than they love their country. And they're worried about other countries more than us. And that goes back to the love of their pocket, because you know that they're lining their pockets helping out these other countries. You know they are. There's no doubt in your mind. We see it all the time. We see it, and we don't really talk too much about it, but we know what's going on. I mean, all the fiascos going on with Hunter that they've been denying and lying about. No, we see all that. That was from before even Joe was out of office as vice president. It's hard telling all the lobbying and favors he got when he was a senator for umpteen million years. So, you know, all we got really is we gotta love each other. We gotta do each other right, not, you know, not fight too awful much more. Come on, people. Let's get along. Let's not, you know, my message to Democrats, you know, I'm sorry to say, and I have to say it, You are. There is no doubt that you are. Now, where is it? Damn it. I've got it right here. Most part of the problem. You won't give, and you think your way is the only way. It's the only way or the highway. And that's just not true. That's not true at all. Everybody lives in America. So let's get together and let's not get outrageous for our wants and get all pissy if we don't get them. Let's just compromise and get in the middle there. Those bills would get passed if you did. If you just got right there in the middle and met with each other. Those bills would be passed. We'd be getting infrastructure done. There'd be, no problems. So, I just say, everybody, we need to love one another. Get with your loved ones, love one another, love everybody, love your Democrat, love your neighbor as yourself. It's just one of the main things that we just need to learn to do. We need to learn to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And things would be a lot better and a lot more groovy. And I'm going to end it with another song. I like to do some karaoke, so I'm going to do some more karaoke. Everybody knows this song. Song of love, really. Let me run with you tonight. I'll take you on a moonlight ride. There's someone I used to see, but she don't give a damn for me. But let me get to the point. Let's roll another joint and turn the radio loud. I'm too alone to be proud, and you don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels to be me. People come, people go. Some grow young and some grow cold. I woke up in between a memory and a dream. So let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint and let's head on down the road to somewhere I gotta go. And you don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels to be me. Was born to rock, he's still trying to beat the clock. Think of me when you will, I got a little space let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint and let's head on down the road. There's somewhere I gotta go, and you don't know how it feels. You don't know how it feels. You know you don't know how it feels to be me. You don't know how it feels. No, you don't know how it feels. No, you don't know how it feels to be me. Peace out, everybody. Love one another. Get along. Get along, little doggies. There's no sense in this. We know how to do it. And be sure to come back next Thursday, alright? And see me. Because I'll try to have more for us, alright? Alright, take care, everybody.